What is a premarital counseling and what is a postmarital counseling? As you all know, pre is before the marriage and post is after the marriage. Now, let us understand why you get married. What is it for? Have you defined why you're getting married? Is it for companionship? Is it for company? Or is it just for the sake of being husband and wife? Defining what goes into a relationship. For example, emotional commitment, financial commitment, intellectual commitment, and physical commitment. Now, it is to be understood that when you get married, you are expecting an unwritten commitment, a lifelong loyalty. You're also expecting a commitment to be loyal and to be taken care of when you're ill and when you are in different situations. Commitment by being friendly, understanding, and also willing to know that at all times it's not going to be a honeymoon. There always will be differences and disagreement or difference in the way you look at different situations. It is not the situations, it is the thought in which you look at that creates a disagreement. Now, for example, in premarital counseling, first is you have decided to get married. Now, what goes into the marriage? What is the relationship for when you get married? What is your expectations? What is the boy will have certain expectations, the girl also will have certain expectations. Now, how this is going to be decided by emotional commitment, physical commitment, intellectual commitment, and financial commitment. Now, if both are working, spouses are working, what is their commitment? Has the boundaries been drawn? Do they have clear set rules when it comes to financial commitment, how you're going to work it out? When it comes to physical intimacy, how is it going to be? How is it you're going to take an approach to this? There also you can set your don'ts and don'ts. You have your commitment. And what you need to know about as a boy, you need to know about women and their physical structure and also their uh, monthly changes in what goes on in the physical monthly period. You also need to know when it is a relationship, it has to be either democratic or autocratic. If it is autocratic, it is dictated upon the other spouse. Now, this will not lead to a mutual understanding of each other. It will not be called a companionship relationship. It will quite differ from a democratic relationship. Now, a democratic relationship is a commitment where you allow each other to express opinions. You also sit down and discuss what you want to expect from the other. What is it? What are the boundaries you're going to draw? This is my area of what I will take care of. This is where you will take care of. Has it been defined? Or is it that after marriage, you will then find yourself where you have to, the mother in law sets a different set of rules and influences uh, the spouse to say she can only do this, she cannot do that, she cannot do this, she cannot do that. Now, all that has to be defined before marriage. If she wants to go in for a job, she has to work, she work within home, how is she going to define it, and how has to be set much before the marriage. That all involves, comes under premarital counseling, where we're going to define a boundary, we're going to put in the expectations, and if in the personality there are differences of personality styles. For example, when it comes to a simple case of finance, how is the monthly home budget going to be operated on? What will be the home budget? How are you going to, what is the expectation of one another? But if both spouses are working, how is it you're going to redefine what goes into your savings, what goes into your investment, and what goes into your home budget? And if you are earning a salary as a girl and as a married woman, your first thing is to pay yourself first. Rule number one. Two, then decide what goes into maintenance, what goes into bills, what goes into your home budget. At times, if you have not had clear definition and you have not defined these things, it becomes difficult for you. Your budget, the financial commitment that the spouse gives, if he earns and says he's going to take care of the expense, you also have a duty as a wife to put some amount in savings. Why save? Because you have to pay yourself first. It is not for spending all the time, but it was saving for yourself so that you can buy what you want. Now, home budget is not only the commitment that the spouse has after marriage. When a couple sits and defines what goes into a relationship, is it companionship, is it husband wife relationship, or is it a lifelong commitment? What is the area you have selected, and what is the expectation of it? It is an unwritten rule for any marriage to be firm and steady. There has to be loyalty, there has to be commitment, there has to be physical loyalty as well. And the don'ts and and what should not be done before marriage. If it is a love marriage, the girls must be clearly know what is the boundary. Why not to get into physical intimacy before marriage, and why that's an act to be done only after marriage? There's a clear boundary line, and it speaks on what principles and code of honor you're going to set in when you're expecting from your spouse certain things. What is your code of honor? What is the spouse code of honor? If that is not defined, then what will be the outcome? With no boundaries, no rules, no expectation, no democratically mutual understanding, then things are going to go wrong. Today, India competes with the US when it comes to divorce cases. Because and somewhere there is something where people are not willing to express and be assertive enough to know that these things are to be had to be in a discussion within them as a couple, because once they define what they want from each other, if the financial saving habits or spending habits are differ, then how they can work on it. This is what is an understanding of a rough idea of premarital counseling and how you can work on your personality. Thank you.